Ahí está ya. Acomodadito. Oh, que la chingada, pues, Genshin. Se apropió del mouse. Cámara. Ahí está el mijo en. Crashó el juego, ¿verdad? Crashó. Va. Ya,
These nuts.
ya vas a dormir. Ya vayas a dormir, vayas a dormir. A ver, disconnect. Vamos a mandar el mijo a AFK porque ya se quedó ahí. Se me hace que se fue a miar. Y ahí dejó la computer. Mejor lo muevo a la AFK. Y a ver si ahora sí carga el juego. Nah, 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 nah. A ver ahí, -50. Ándale. Es que lo puse a -40. Pero aún así no me lo detecta. Ahí a -50 va a estar bien. A huevo. Un Norlander Billet. Ah, qué chido. Y es blank. Quedan poquillos días. Estoy intentado en tirar un temple en el de Nubilet, pero al mismo tiempo digo no. Bueno, si estamos hablando que son 11. ¿Qué me hace falta de aquí? Yanfei, no. Shinshio, no. Bárbara, no. Entonces ni al caso. sí, tengo reputación en Fontaine. Entre comillas. Esto terminó la historia de los Aranara también. Toda esa saga. Bueno, me checo algo porque puse algo en la impresora 3D y entonces voy a checar a ver si se está haciendo bien. Ya puso bien la primera capa. Bueno, las primeras capas. Me dan ganas de armar a la Xianyun. Halloween Day 2024. Mother.
It's almost time. Everyone ready? All right. Then let's get this show started.
Oh, I can't wait, Mr.
Let's get going.
Emperoroni Kabuto. It takes years to make a fortune, but only a moment to lose it all to a scam artist. Okay. I'm delighted to have you all here today to help everyone avoid becoming the victim of scam artists themselves. We thought please join me in welcoming Miss Etsu, Mr. Iba, and the venerable gentleman, Mr. Arataki Ito. Without further ado... It was just another bright...
Doshin Arataki!
Doshin?
Yes!
Oh! Ma'am!
I don't know. It was too late when I found out. They took...
Doshin Arataki frowns as he realized...
I am the... It's the almighty...
No me acuerdo qué selecciones hice.
Whoa,
Before I could go...
Doshin Arataki...
Chinga madre.
It's Miss Hina. You're right, Gramps. Is 300,000 more...
It's a scam, Doshin Arataki! Snap out of it!
Oh, right. These...
Well, anyway...
This is
Doshin
painful.
Arataki.
I am our...
I cannot.
Wait a minute.
Doshin Arataki...
What kind of whack...
So...
No way, not a chance. Arataki Ito wouldn't...
But just as Doshin...
Misetsu, don't...
Even if you do catch the...
Oni Kabuto. Wait.
Oh, well, we recently received an order that was too big for our current capacity. We were planning to expand Grandpa's facilities, but then we were swindled out of all of our...
Man, what's that? Etsu, my...
But then we... Please help Grandpa's business...
I won't hear of it.
I was going...
Oh, so that's what you were, yeah. No, it's not as enticing an offer as I was. Because if it's more than 10,000. What? 10,000?
Please help us.
10,000 Onika.
Doshin Arataki is struck by a sudden wave...
Misetsu, don't you worry. I'm gonna... But 10,000 is... As a Doshin of the 10...
That's great news.
The question... Huh. Yo, Hazel, my hombre, question for you. What's my character's salary in this?
Ahem. Suddenly...
Whoa, check it out! A check! Misetsu, get that?
Thank you so much,
Doshin Arataki... All he needs to do...
Master Arataki.
Wait.
Doshin Arataki is having sex...
So...
Huh?
A spark of intuition.
Since this is an anti...
Is he about to act?
I gotta...
This is it.
Does a Doshin really get paid this... 500,000...
Ah! This is... What an idiot.
Traveler.
No me acuerdo que elegí, güey. Güey, no me acuerdo que elegí. Y la neta, güey, repetir esta madre es painful, güey. A ver. Lo voy a buscar en Google. Ok, para sacar el otro ending es esto.
Aha! Natsu and Iba. So that's... You two are the scam artists. You put on this damsel in distress and elderly grandpa act to win my
Esta sí no la he
sympathy,
visto.
then used a few cheap tricks to get my attention. Then you dangled the bait in front of me, waiting for me to bite. Darn it, I knew it. Who in their right mind would give away Oni Kabuto for free, let alone 10,000 of them? It's too good to be true, and that's how I know you're the scam artists. You got a lot of nerve trying to scam a Doshin. You're coming with me, and you'll give a full confession if you know what's good for you.
Finally, with the help of his intuition and a little guidance from beyond the void, Doshin Arataki
beyond the void.
successfully avoided being defrauded. Not only that, but he asked a critical question. Who in their right mind would give away Oni Kabuto for free? I ask you all, is there such a thing as free Oni Kabuto? Free Mora? Or does nothing in life come for free? All right, remember, it takes years to make a fortune, but only a moment to lose it all to a scam artist. Thank you once again for watching Hazo Talks Fraud. Stay alert, everybody, and see you again next time.
So, how's my acting? I think I did just fine without a script. Those two would-be scam artists need to up their game if they want to have a chance of taking me down.
Hello? Without that hint from the Traveler, you would have handed that cash away without a second thought.
Easy.
Right, yeah. I should thank her for the timely hint. But I pretty much knew off the bat that something fishy was about to go down, so, it was just a matter of time before I saw right through their scam. Seriously, oldest trick in the book. Who's gonna fall for that?
Old tricks they may well be, but the reason they've stood the test of time is that the ideal victim is always out there somewhere. People who are behind on the times, naive, socially isolated, or have cognitive deficiencies. Just because they don't always get noticed doesn't mean they're not there. Scammers cast a wide net. Sure, maybe 10,000 fish will escape, but they only need one catch for them to win and for us to lose.
Well, no more losing from now on. Not with me here to protect everyone. I think we can all agree that my performance today shows I'm savvy enough to keep the scammers at bay.
Don't be too confident. Anyway, Ito, my old... what was it again? Ah, yes, bro. Here's the reward you were promised.
Ah, music to my ears. Emperor Oni Kabuto, come to Papa. Oh, look at those sharp horns and those beautiful stripes. Well, hold on. Hazo, my hombre, why won't it move? Hey, bud, move! Oh no, I think this one might have, joined the big beetle battle in the sky.
It's a figurine, so not the moving kind.
What? A figure? So, it's a fake?
Man alive, you seem a little surprised. Wait, you didn't actually think this was a real Oni Kabuto, did you? No, surely not. Ito, old chap, you must have seen from the photograph that it was a figurine. Don't tell me you didn't notice. Really?
You little punk! Give me my Emperor Oni Kabuto!
He got scammed. Excelente. Ah, contó para dos. Okay. Case files. En vez de Shrewd Lady of the Grand Arakami Shrine.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
Hay que hacer el otro.
So, have you gone through the case files? Is there anything that caught your eye?
No me acuerdo cómo es este rollo, güey. A ver. Esto lo hice el año pasado. I'm curious about your dream, but it's my job to bring you back. Your dream's really out there. The 3 case files.
That case should be easy enough. Just leave it to Uesugi. This complaint letter I received is more important. I was hoping I wouldn't have to drag you into this, but it's just occurred to me that with your help, I might be able to wrap up this problem.
Alright then, tell us about the complaint letter.
It's from Sango, the president of Bantan Sango Detective Agency. I assume you've met her before? You can say that. Sango's complaint letter accuses me of abusing my power for personal gain and blatantly concealing the truth behind the Ryuji case from years ago. Seriously, do I really seem like the type of person who'd do that?
Concealing the truth? That definitely sounds like something you would do.
Hey, don't judge a book by its cover, alright? Let's just go to the detective agency and talk to Sango. We'll need to speak with her to get to the bottom of this.
Welcome back, Mr. Heizo. I'm glad you're all right. How about some tonkatsu? You must have missed the taste of home after so long.
Maybe next time, Ryuji. Seems like somebody's been expecting me. And I'm afraid they're only gonna be disappointed once again.
Well, look who it is. The great Detective Heizo. What nonsense were you talking about just now? I've been worried about you, you know. So much so that I took the trouble to write that heartfelt letter to the Tenryo Commission. Well, was it sufficiently flattering for you?
Uh-oh, they're at it again.
Let's not waste the traveler's time, Sango. Just tell me, what do you want?
Fine by me. My request is simple. Disclose all the details of the Ryuji case. It's time you stop hiding the truth and let me investigate it thoroughly.
First of all, that case has already been solved. Second, I've disclosed everything the police station has on the case. And third...
Enough! You can only fool Ryuji with that. If you don't want to cooperate, I can assure you that I will write more letters to the headquarters of the Tenryo Commission. I will not give up on this case.
Oh, wait! Hold on! Can someone please explain what's going on here? Paimon doesn't have a clue what you two are talking about.
All right, let me explain. Several years ago, a terrible murder took place in the police station. I was still working at the Tenryo Commission then, and the victim was actually my dear boss. Due to various factors, I was deemed to be the top suspect, which is why it's called the Ryuji case. Also, Heizo wasn't a part of the police station back then. He was a detective at the agency. Which at the time was called the Bantan Sango and Heizo Detective Agency.
Huh? That's crazy! But, wait. Then why did Heizo leave?
After the incident, I was quickly convicted and sent to prison. Fortunately, Sango then promptly proved my innocence and caught the real murderer.
But that murderer was actually just a dummy to throw us off, am I right, Detective Shikanoin?
Sango thought that everything went smoothly, so much so that she suspected the real murderer was someone else. Of course, Detective Heizo was also helping with the investigation, but after a long time, he still came up empty-handed. Later on, he decided to join the police station to continue his investigation on the inside, which is why he left the detective agency.
Ah!
Ha! That's what I thought too. I was foolish enough to believe that Detective Shikanoing and I shared a common goal. But I was wrong about him. He has no sense of loyalty at all. He just wanted to become an official as a means of gaining fame and fortune.
Come on, stop exaggerating. Let me set the record straight here. First, I joined the police station long after that murder case happened, and it had nothing to do with any inside investigation. That's just somebody's wishful thinking. Second, purely out of curiosity, I did investigate the case later from within the police station. My conclusion was that the suspect Sango had caught was in fact the real murderer. And lastly, when Sango didn't buy my conclusion and asked me to disclose all related case files from the police station, I did exactly as she asked. I didn't hide anything.
He's lying right through his teeth.
That's it. I want this to end once and for all. Since the Traveler's my supervisor today, they have complete access to all the police station's files. If she's willing to help re-examine the case and arrives at the same conclusion that I did, then you won't have to doubt me anymore.
Whoa. Huh?
Unless you don't trust the Traveler. Come on, say it.
It's not about whether the Traveler's trustworthy. I'm just wondering if you will interfere somehow.
The thought never even crossed my mind.
You have to swear that you will not mislead the Traveler by any means, and let her investigate the truth on her own.
No problem. Cross my heart, hope to die.
Well, Traveler, are you willing to help me with this? Will you agree to re-examine the Ryuji case and find the truth? You can bill me later for however much you'd like as compensation.
Sango, really? However much they want?
Money is valuable, no doubt. But pursuing the truth is the reason I started this agency. The Ryuji case is the only case I failed to solve. I am willing to give you anything. All right, I'm counting on you, Traveler. You hear that, Detective Shikanoing? Ha! Now we just need to wait and see.
All right, I got it. No need to keep yammering like that. You'll scare the kids next door. Come on, let's go back to the police station.
Porque siento que se va a llevar una decepción enorme.
All right, hang out here for a sec. I need to go to the archives to get the case files. For now, why don't you go and chat with Yoriki Owada over there? He worked on this case too back in the day. No, you misunderstand. It's not that I want you to look into this. It's just that you're the only one who can. You're the only one I can think of who Sango would ever believe. She trusts in both your qualities and abilities, so I hope your findings can finally convince her and put an end to this whole thing. Sure, she's just writing complaint letters for now, but who knows what she'll do in the future. All right, I'll go get those case files. You go ahead and talk to Yoriki Owada for a while.
Oh, hello there. The Ryuji case. So you want to reinvestigate that one? That was several years ago now, but I still remember it clearly. It's pretty hard to forget something like that, especially when the victim was the head of this police station. His name was Takatsukasa Isamu, the younger brother of Takatsukasa Susumu, head of the Takatsukasa clan.
That's a mouthful!
He was really one of a kind. Decisive, brave, and smart. He was much younger than me, and already had quite a reputation. I'm sure he would have gone far in the Tenryo Commission, if only he was still alive. What a shame. Who would have guessed someone was plotting against him? People will believe anything they hear. Everyone in the police station knew that Ryuji saw Takatsukasa Isamu like a father. Ryuji was an orphan, you know. Before he joined the station, he had been taking odd jobs here and there. It was Isamu who really took him under his wing. Ryuji was simple and not particularly bright, but he was very loyal to those who treated him well. He's also hardworking. Isamu must have seen these qualities in him and decided to keep Ryuji by his side. Ryuji worked with him for years after that, and was even promoted to be his personal assistant. Do you really think Ryuji would do anything to harm him?
So, then why was Ryuji convicted? Even Paimon can tell that's a mistake.
Well, here comes the interesting part of the case. Within a week, and before all the loose ends had even been tied up, Ryuji received his conviction. Moreover, it was signed by Madame Kujo Sara.
What? Why would Sara do something like that?
I'm getting older now, and my eyesight is poor. I can't see too clearly anymore.
Hey, come on, Yoriki Owada, there's nothing to see. It's obvious that the Kujo clan did it.
You can't just go around saying things like that, Wisuki. Those were just hearsay. There was no evidence.
That's not true. Traveler, you may be unaware that the Takatsukasa clan has always been assisting the Kujo clan in the Tenryo Commission. But who doesn't want to be the boss, right? And Takatsukasa Isamu was the key figure for the Takatsukasa clan to bring down the Kujo clan. At that time, no one was held in higher regard than Isamu. So, naturally, the Kujo clan saw him as a potential threat. Kujo Takayuki must have been planning it all along, that rascal. Takayuki is able to control the Takatsukasa clan as long as he's in power. But by the time he retires, Isamu would have been at the apex of his political power, while Masahito and Kamaji of the Kujo clan would still have been too young. The two of them wouldn't stand a chance against Isamu. You think Kujo Takayuki would simply sit back while Isamu gained traction?
You youngsters and your conspiracy theories.
No, it's true. It's the only way to explain it. Otherwise, why would an impartial person like Madame Kujo Sara sign Ryuji's conviction so quickly? They had to find a scapegoat to pacify the Takatsukasa clan, so Kujo Takayuki must have told her to sign it immediately. I'm not accusing Madame Kujo Sara of anything, mind you. I respect her very much. But maybe she had no other choice.
What do you know? I'm sure Madame Kujo Sara must have had her own reasons. The guy was a forensic expert who worked in the station named Shiroyama. I have to admit, he wasn't easy to track down. That Sango really is something, though. She caught him without even breaking a sweat. It turned out that after poisoning Isamu, Shiroyama secretly took the poison to Ryuji's place in order to frame him. Later on, the poison was also found in the forensic office, but that was already after Shiroyama's death. He confessed everything in a testament.
That's right. He hung himself in the forensic office not long after Sango was on his trail. Probably because he knew it was only a matter of time before he would be caught. Of course, he didn't admit whether he had been prompted by Kujo Takayuki. He took the responsibility alone. I bet Kujo Takayuki promised him a sizable compensation. After all, Shiroyama had a family to feed.
There you go again, pulling conclusions out of thin air. There wasn't any evidence of that at all.
Listen, I can almost guarantee that it was the Takatsukasa clan who invited Sango to investigate. We all knew that Ryuji was just a scapegoat. You think the Takatsukasa clan wouldn't figure that out? They're not stupid. So, they were suspicious of the Kujo clan and invited Sango to take the case. However, the Kujo clan were still a step ahead and were able to remove themselves from the situation before the whole thing blew up. They drove Shiroyama to take all the blame as well as his own life. A perfectly clean cut for the Kujo clan. With Shiroyama dead, there was no one left to testify. Even the Electro Archon herself wouldn't be able to do anything.
You make up stuff faster than a politician. It's a wonder nobody's asked you to be an advisor yet.
Hey, that's their loss.
The whole thing is starting to sound complicated.
Hey, I brought the files. I bet you got quite an earful just now, huh? But don't believe everything they say. After all, people can tell you anything, and it's hard to separate truth from rumors without facts. So what really matters is the case files. Everything laid out here is all that the police station has about the case. Please, take a look. Remember, you may find many clues during an investigation, but not all of them are useful. And in some cases, the clues you will find will not only be useless, but downright misleading. Also, if a clue cannot corroborate anything on its own, you can always compare it with other clues, and maybe then you'll find what you're looking for. Okay, that should just about do it. I'm looking forward to your results.
Hold on. What actually counts as a result?
Usually, you need to find two things from these clues: a proven motive and proven means. Once you can confirm these two things, the criminal can be proven guilty. All right, you can go ahead and get started now. I look forward to hearing your verdict.
Whoa. That is a painful way to die.
Yikes! He ate all kinds of stuff. Hey, this is the key to proving that Shiroyama was the murderer, right? That is, if he was telling the truth, of course. Takatsukasa Isamu seems like a thoughtful person, but something about the tone sounds weird.
Nobody would write a letter for that.
Come to think of it, Shiroyama was a forensic doctor. He could easily pull off something like this.
Easy.
So Shiroyama's conviction was also signed by Kujo-Sara, just like Ryuji's. Wow. Ryuji's conviction really was signed by Kujo-Sara. But now we know she had it wrong.
Pero es de awaiting of trial, no es complete, no es full.
Huh? That's weird. There's nothing here. This This must be some of the false information that Hazel told us to look out for. A synthetic toxin? What's that?
So, what did you find? Have you come to a conclusion? Really? You found the criminal's motive and means that quickly? Awesome. All right, let's talk about the motive first. What clue reveals the criminal's motive? Excellent work. According to the victim's message, the two had deep conflicts. Although we cannot confirm whether the poison had been requested by the victim or not, it is true that Isamu used Shiroyama's family to blackmail him. Such circumstances could be enough motive for Shiroyama to commit the crime.
But wasn't Takatsukasa Isamu good to Shiroyama? He even went to Shiroyama's house to bring health supplements.
That's the thing. Nobody writes for that.
But maybe he didn't really bring health supplements. Maybe it was something bad.
Is that what you think, Paimon? Well, we later found out that what Takatsukasa Isamu sent to Shiroyama's house was indeed health supplements. But if you consider the circumstances, what he sent wasn't important. What was important is that sending the supplements was actually a dangerous signal. Isamu was essentially implying, I can put anything in your wife's supplements at any time. If you really care about her safety, then get me what I want.
So scary! Your assumption sounds like a real threat! You're not really that dark inside, are you?
You don't really catch criminals by standing in the light, do you? Basically, these two clues work to verify each other, and the murderer's motive is confirmed. Now, all that's left is the means of the crime. Next, which clue confirms the criminal's means? So, what did you find? Have you come to a conclusion? Bingo! The autopsy report confirms that the cause of death was a special toxin. The testament indicates that Shiroyama used his position as a forensic expert to mix the toxin into the cold medicine taken by the deceased. But is that really the truth? Is it not possible that the toxin was mixed into the fish liver paste?
¿Qué no se supone que es solo soluble en agua?
Well, according to the toxicology report, this white powder only dissolves in water. Neither rice nor the fish liver paste could be used as a carrier of the toxin. The cold medicine was the only option. Putting the poison elsewhere would not only fail to guarantee a lethal dose, but would also increase the chance of it being noticed by the deceased. Therefore, the means is also confirmed.
Add that to the motive for the crime and... Whoa! So the murderer really was Shiroyama!
Yep, pretty clear cut, wouldn't you say? Look, I really don't know what Sango is so suspicious about.
Yeah, it's pretty clear cut. Huh. You could say it's almost too clear cut.
Oh? Well, let's hear them. Maybe I have answers. What's bugging you?
Based on the convictions written by Koyosara, the two committed the same crime. Why are there different punishments? Why is the research log from the Office Forensic Science blank? Did someone throw out the pages? The toxicology report mentioned now that this is interesting. That is a pretty good question.
Maybe the report was wrong. The International Trade Association is a gathering place for merchants from all over. Countless merchants pass through the port of Rito every day. It's natural for there to be a couple of missing records here or there. This also puzzles me. Maybe someone doesn't want us being privy to the content inside, or maybe Shiroyama tore a bunch of pages out by accident. But regardless, this isn't essential to the case. Like I said before, a lot of what comes up in an investigation is irrelevant information. The crucial elements are Shiroyama's motive and means, which we have established. Very nice. Top marks for attention to detail. It doesn't have any real bearing on the case, but let me explain how that works for you. So, why would Madame Kujo-Sara sign one conviction sentencing Ryuji to temporary incarceration awaiting trial, and another conviction sentencing Shiroyama to death? You may have heard some rumors back at the station that when this case first came up, the Kujo clan higher-ups were in dire need of a scapegoat to keep the Takatsukasa clan off their backs. And poor Ryuji became the successful candidate. In less than a week, the conviction was drafted, sent to Madame Kujo-Sara, and signed. Allegedly, she knew what it was about as soon as she saw it, and signed it with no questions asked. But anyone who buys this story clearly doesn't know that much about Madame Kujo-Sara. She's the most principled person in the entire Tenryo Commission, for goodness sake. So, how would she respond to a case filled with unanswered questions and no confession from the suspect?
Oh, you mean...
Exactly. Before she signed it, she changed Ryuji's conviction from the death sentence to temporary incarceration. Ryuji escaped a disastrous fate without ever realizing it. Had Madame Kujo-Sara not changed his sentence, Sanga would have been seeking justice for a dead man.
Why was Sara so lenient with Ryuji?
That's the wrong question. This wasn't about Ryuji, but Madame Kujo-Sara's principles. The conviction could have been for a Ryuji, a Guji, heck, even a Tanuki, and she would have made the same decision. Given the enormous pressure she was under at the time, I'd say she did the most she could. Don't you think?
Pressure?
I don't know.
Really? Was someone higher up putting pressure on Sara?
The pressure came from all sides.
The
The deceased was the leader of the police station and the rising star of the Takatsukasa clan. All eyes were on this case. How this became reduced to the unimaginative rumor that Madame Kujo-Sara convicted Ryuji under pressure from her superiors, I have no idea.
Ugh. Rumors here, conspiracy theories there. Lies at every turn.
Fortunately, Madame Kujo-Sara works in an open and transparent manner and pays no heed to rumors like this. She just rolls her eyes and forgets all about them.
Yep, happens. And now I cannot sleep. Also, he elbowed me on the face. Oh. Yikes.
Just because she has never publicly clarified the truth doesn't mean she was hiding anything. So when I asked her about it, saying it was relevant to a case I was working on, she just told me how it was. Believe me, in this case, more than any other, I have checked every last detail. Well, I've answered all your lingering questions, and you've checked all the material the police station has, so what do you think? Case closed?
Paimon still feels like something doesn't add up. But then again, Heizo did give us all the files the police station had. Ugh, this is annoying.
I don't follow. Enlighten me.
Right! Why do you keep emphasizing police station every single time?
You tell me. Why do I keep emphasizing police station every time? So we're finally here, huh? I was starting to think our investigation was about to end a little early. That would have been a real shame. Man alive, you finally saw through my little game. You're absolutely right. There is other information that the police station doesn't have. Reason being? It's my own evidence. And this evidence should help answer a couple of your questions more clearly. Why was the research log from the Office of Forensic Science blank? And where did the white powder come from?
Aha! Paimon knew you were keeping secrets!
Don't you have secrets too?
No. Nope. Definitely not.
Paimon
Let's
has a
talk
secret
somewhere
stash.
else. This isn't the best place for this discussion.
A secret stash of snacks. I was about to ask which game is this, but then I saw Paimon. Z Paimon.
This is a quiet spot. Let's talk here. All right. Here's the secret I've been keeping all along. The torn out pages from the research log of the Office of Forensic Science.
Great! But Paimon can't believe you kept this a secret all this time!
It's not like you think. I wasn't the one who tore out the pages. Look, just read it over first.
Ah. My sleep schedule. Oh, you tell me. I've been going to sleep like at 3-4 in the morning. Acidic nutrients extracted from the sunsetia were mixed into the oil extracted from the fish lip, and the mixture was purified. The formation of a fine white powdery substance. Or the this form of damage, this is skin mucus members following this reason phase then death. So technically food poisoning. Yeah, you're gonna have to do it. Ooh.
Finished? Do you see now?
What?
The method used by the perpetrator to commit his crime wasn't by putting the white powder in the cold medicine.
Was using the cold medicine in the fish liver paste.
That's correct. The white powder was Shiroyama's invention. As a forensic doctor, he provided a special cold medicine for Takatsukasa Isamu. The autopsy report showed that this medicine contained a high volume of acidic fruit and vegetable extracts.
Falling asleep, sitting
Then,
up.
he tricked
Have you
Ryuji
tried
into sending
melatonin?
fish liver paste to Takatsukasa Isamu. When the two
see
substances
if
were
you
taken
can
together, a toxic dose of the substance formed in his body. This is the real modus operandi.
Oh, that's awful! One was medicine, and the other was an expensive nutritional supplement. Both completely harmless.
True, both are harmless on their own, but when combined, poof, that's it. It was not him who wanted to hide it, but the person pulling the strings behind him.
Huh. You mean there was someone else pulling the strings?
Aren't you curious where I found these pages from the research log? It was in Kujo Takayuki's secret warehouse.
Oh,
After I found the missing pages, I did some digging around and found out that Shiroyama had worked for Kujo Takayuki before joining the police station. The Kujo clan secretly provided Shiroyama with funds to study forensic science. I guess you could say that Kujo Takayuki's investment paid dividends in this case. Of course, I had only learned all of this after the Vision Hunt decree came to an end. Kujo Takayuki had lost his grip on power, and the Tenryo Commission was undergoing a general reshuffle.
Yikes.
To avoid coming under suspicion, Madame Kujo Sara put me in charge of building a case against Kujo Takayuki. I found a huge stash of fish liver paste in his secret warehouse. Nothing hugely incriminating about that, of course, but I still took the trouble to open each and every package until finally, I had to concede that this really was just a huge stash of fish liver paste.
Silence,
but then, underneath the floor tiles, where the fish liver paste was stacked, I found a secret compartment with this torn-off research report lying inside.
So it was him who wanted to frame Ryuji all along. What a nasty piece of work.
Let's review the whole case from the top. First, Takatsukasa Isamu, for whatever reason, noticed Shiroyama's talent as a forensic doctor and asked him to develop a special poison on his behalf. But Shiroyama was already working for the Kujo clan, so he refused. Takatsukasa Isamu wasn't about to take no for an answer, and that's where things took a dark turn. He twisted Shiroyama's arm by making a veiled threat to harm his family. All Shiroyama could do was to secretly report everything to Kujo Takayuki. When Takayuki learned what was happening, he instructed Shiroyama to pretend to cooperate with Takatsukasa Isamu, then kill the latter with the white powder once it was fully developed. Meanwhile, Ryuji's only role in this case was to deliver the fish liver paste to Takatsukasa Isamu on Shiroyama's orders, completely unaware of the fact that he was being used as a pawn and that this was a key ingredient needed to create the poison. After the incident, Kujo Takayuki hoped to make Ryuji the fall guy, until the death sentence was stalled when it reached Madame Kujo Sara. In the meantime, Sango had begun her own investigation. Kujo Takayuki grew nervous that the truth would get out, so he threw Shiroyama to the wolves, hounding him to death and erasing all traces of contact between the two. And yet, he wanted to keep this secret formula, so he hid it. Greedy guy, that Takayuki. He must have wanted to have it on hand just in case he needed to employ it again in the future and make someone else disappear.
This Kujo Takayuki is an evil lunatic! We've got to report this to A. Whatever his current punishment is, it needs to be 10 times worse!
That would be practically impossible. One research log found in his warehouse doesn't prove anything. Even I can think of 100 excuses. Besides, Ryuji directly contributed to Takatsukasa Isamu's death by delivering the fish liver paste to him. The fact that he was unaware of the true nature of the situation doesn't matter.
But he's still innocent, right? Isn't it just a coincidence? Paimon really doesn't get how the law works.
Legally speaking, the judge would most likely rule that it was accidental. But in practice, Ryuji may still have to end up shouldering some responsibility.
So basically, you've been hiding the truth all this time to protect Ryuji.
Mental trauma doesn't heal as easily as physical wounds. My biggest worry is that Ryuji would struggle to cope if he knew the truth. He's like an innocent child. He freely gives his trust and his love to everyone that treats him well. That's why he thought of Takatsukasa Isamu as a father figure. I'm pretty sure that to this day, he has never paused to wonder whether Takatsukasa Isamu was actually a good person, or if Sango just hired him as a gopher, or why I left the detective agency. If he found out the facts about Takatsukasa Isamu, I'm afraid it would crush him. Well, as you can see, I'm a little less confident than people might think. To prevent Ryuji from getting hurt, I covered up the truth.
You have no many.
But by doing so,
I have no idea how many times I hit
held him
redeem to
back?
get that. You can
Did I
always
do the right
subscribe.
thing? I couldn't turn to anyone for help, and everyone around me thinks I'm so
You unlock
smart
everything in
that I
one
should
go.
just be able to handle every case on my own. Even if I tried to discuss it with them, they'd just say, "Don't be ridiculous, Mr. Hazo, no problem's too difficult for you." But you're different. Unlike them, you don't have that kind of prejudice towards me. You've traveled far and wide and have had all kinds of experiences. It must have taught you a lot. Most importantly, my intuition tells me that you're someone special, that I can trust you and that you can help me. Right? So, I'd like you to be the one to decide whether we should expose the truth or not. Oh, you don't need to tell me what you decide, and you certainly don't need to decide right now. Let's just say I'm leaving this teensy tiny matter up to you. All right, let's head back to the detective agency. You can mull it over on the way. Once you've made up your mind, just tell Ryuji and Sango your verdict.
Hey, Traveler. Hey, Detective Hazo. You're back already, huh? I bet you're tired. Well, I just bought some tonkatsu. Care to join me? There's plenty for everyone.
We'd love to. But wouldn't you like to hear the results of our investigation first?
No matter what you were able to find, it's all in the past and won't ever change. So I think we'd better chow down first. Besides, if Sango's not happy with the results, we might not have anything to eat later.
Come on, Ryuji, pipe down. Let's hear the Traveler's conclusion first.
Okay then. Over to you, Hazel and Traveler.
No, hold on. I have an idea. I have an idea. I have an idea. I have an idea. Playable character? Okay, now hold on. Twitch. Creator dashboard. The trigger demo eye. See if I can do this. It didn't look as good as I thought it would.
Don't worry, just tell us your findings. Everyone trusts you, as do I.
Well, what do you know? I suspected that was the case. Please rest in peace, Master Takatsukasa.
No, impossible. Traveler, are you sure you checked every last file carefully? Ugh, no, you little chicken-knowing Hazo. You didn't pull any shenanigans on the Traveler, did you?
Sango, no accusations without evidence, remember?
The truth is out and the case is closed, Sango. Please don't send any more of your harassment letters to the Tenryo Commission. Well, I really owe it to you, Traveler. I'll be sure to properly thank you later. Until then, see ya.
Hey, you're not going anywhere!
Got a Taco Bell. What does that mean? It means you get Taco Bell. Taco Bell is 24/7. And the midnight munchies are something that you need to quell. Is there a second option? Oh.
All the world holds dear.
You can tell them that he
Traveler.
hit some
hey,
shit.
Detective Hazo. You're back already, huh?
We'd love to.
No matter what you were able to find.
Oh.
But how? How could this be?
I wonder what a homemade Mexican pizza would taste like. Pretty. bell peppers, cheese, tomato sauce, ham, bacon, mincemeat, and garnish with some salsa. Could be party salsa, like Valentina or Tapatio. Crust with oregano. Sour cream cheese fajita stuff? No!
Huh. So, that's what really happened?
Ryuji, I know it's hard to accept, but...
Wait a minute. Sorry, I have quite the stomach ache. Sango, can I take the day off?
Sure, of course. Take the week if you need it.
Oh, Paimon hopes Ryuji will be okay.
I didn't expect things to turn out like this.
Just give him some time to himself. I think he'll eventually come to accept it.
I'm still a little worried, though. What if he doesn't come to work tomorrow?
Then we'll go to him. Don't you worry about that, Sango. You need some time to process all of this, too.
Stop crying, bitch. I have a stomach ache, too. I used to have a stomach ache. But then I told the stomach ache to fuck it. Boss off. And so the stomach ache went away.
Ah, you're here.
That's
Don't
what
worry.
Bix is for?
Ryuji came
No.
earlier this morning.
No. Over here in Mexico, Bix, we use the vapor rub for everything except stomach aches. For a cold, Bix. For a fever, Bix. Oh, your nose is stuffed because of allergies? Bix. Stomach aches? Nah. For stomach aches, Coca-Cola and lemon.
I guess he can handle a lot more than I had thought. I was honestly worried he'd suffer a breakdown. But as of today, it seems he'll be fine. He went over to Natsuke Nogen Crafts to buy something.
Let's go find him then. Shall we?
Before you go, Heizo, I kind of understand now what you meant when you left.
Oh, really? I'm happy to hear you say that.
Nobody expects the Bix Inquisition.
All right, time to find Ryuji.
North.
Look, there's Ryuji with a little kid too. Is he buying our toys? Uncle Ryuji, was my daddy handsome? I've never seen what he looked like.
I go back in time and rub icy hot on a small Victorian child. Icy hot. Oh god.
Of course. Takatsukasa Isamu was a very handsome man. Also, it's not uncle. Call me brother.
But you look so old.
Well, I'm still your brother.
Huh? How come?
Because he treated me like a son.
Huh? Who are you guys?
We're friends with your big brother Ryuji, and with your father too.
Oh, really? Yay! I've met loads of my daddy's friends today. Can you tell me some stories about him? I really want to hear them.
I give them minty fresh toothpaste and I tell them it's ice cream. Oh my god. No! And that is how fucking Chocombit was created.
Sure. Why, I know enough stories about your old man that if I started talking now, you'd be all grown up before I finished them.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I don't want to grow up too soon then. Maybe when I'm 100. No, 200 years old.
What?
No, 300 years old. Yep, I'm gonna wait until I'm 300 years old before I become a grown-up, so that I can make sure I finish all the stories first.
Four out of 5. The intuitive commission. So that is this one. Whoops. Huh? Oop. Shit. All the way here. I tell the pie smokers that
The world
Cheeto
remains
dust.
constant over the centuries.
Hot Cheeto Dust is a new, better brand of tobacco. No. Not Hot Cheeto. Takis Fuego.
But human life is like the dew at dawn, or a bubble rising through water. Transit.
Something. Isn't that bizarre?
Paimon bets it must be,
Oh.
Tell the mine workers, hey, you can use charcoal to clean your teeth. Well, technically.
well, as long as the Traveler still appreciates Paimon, then that's fine.
Interestingly, some people believe, however, if you ask me, it was my intuition telling me, so I decided to accept. Unfortunately, who knows? Nah, don't worry about it. So how would you like to partner up on? Yes, of course, I understand. Well, so since we're already here, once everything is settled.
Okay, I'm curious about your dream too. I'll assist in your investigation. That's one, and I think your dreams is really out there.
It's a deal then, So.
It gives us lumps of means of production.
Ooh, what's the shiny thing? Hey, isn't this crystal
So, have you found anything? Yes, I've found.
Aren't these all super? Huh?
No, that's. Here's what I think. So, it's if we go out. Perfect.
What?
Captain, I see you found the detective. You can stay as long. Incidents of stolen goods. Troops have also been deployed to protect.
That's strange.
I do
Then
magic
where
trick,
did
then
the
they brought
Nobushi
me a
get those
witch.
goods from?
Huh? You mean you?
Yep, and it's all.
Could there have really been a theft?
Oh my god,
hasn't
that
been
reminded me of a TikTok.
That shouldn't be the case. He's responsible for the caravan.
Great. Thank you for all the info.
Hey, Traveler!
General.
You're dismissed.
Yes, General Gore.
That's right.
That actually reminded me of a TikTok.
I see. So you've come to ask if we know of any relevant cases. We had already
And you're concerned.
Oh, so you.
Actually, I've only heard of.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes.
Don't mention. But if the source of.
Yes, of course. The reports indicated that the stolen goods were being delivered to a merchant of the International Trade Association named Godot. It all seems pretty unusual. We suspect that there are bigger players behind Godot, and that their target is none other than Watatsumi Island's valuable resources.
Ha!
But unfortunately, it would be difficult for us to investigate further.
Given that Rito, the island where the International Trade Association is located, is not part of your territory, yes. They have cleverly picked their base of operations.
Or you do what Japan did, that he had a brother that was from Japan. And when he resurrected, he escaped to Japan.
I can see you catch on quickly, Detective Hazo.
It's my guess that you're telling us this because you're going to ask us to assist you in finding who's behind all this.
The recent end of the war, trade and commerce have now become an important. So, will you please?
I'm willing to assist, but it all depends on what she wishes.
Great! With both Detective Hazo and the Traveler on the case, the situation is now in.
All right, we'll take care of it.
Hey, why are we talking?
Very perceptive. Let me ask you, do you believe in intuition?
Huh?
My intuition tells me that General Goro is lying.
What? How could you?
Good people can be deceptive, too. Well, in my opinion, the timing of his appearance was a little too coincidental.
Goddamn.
Sanganamiya's soldiers have been keeping, but today he came out and met.
Maybe that's because the Traveler is here.
Really? A more plausible Then he put up a smokescreen to me.
Whoa, are you?
Actually, I sense something.
Something's.
Yes. Whatever is missing on this island.
Whoa! Hold.
It's not that simple. I can't. Sure. It's simple. We should just investigate whatever it is they're trying to hide from us. And what were we planning to do just before Goro showed up?
Oh, we were going to talk.
Bingo. There's no time to lose.
$20 and $22. I threw itching powder in the local Roman bath.
Todoroki, the shipment has arrived and is ready for inspection.
Good, let's go.
Hey, it's Todoroki!
Shh, keep quiet.
Who's snitching the people of the
Man
Trojan
alive.
Horse? God damn it.
Todoroki,
Good, let's...
Hey, it's Todoroki!
Shh, keep...
Motherfucker.
Your intel was spot on. When we arrived, the Nobushi were all still asleep. We captured them all, and the goods were retrieved and brought back here.
I'll take a look. Everything seems in order.
It's nothing. Thanks to the efforts of your caravan, the price of grain in the village has decreased.
That's right. And who would have thought that the injuries we sustained during the war would have such a lingering effect on our bodies? But thankfully, you also brought back some life-saving medicine.
Things are improving, thanks to the help from those up top. Oh, by the way, what is the state of the village's inventory? Make sure that it's confirmed tonight. I have to leave tomorrow morning after I go to the Sangonomiya Shrine and get instructions from General Goro.
Don't worry. We've already prepared the list. Just follow us.
Huh? The soldiers from Sangonomiya seized the Nobushi stolen goods? But didn't Goro say all the stolen goods were headed to the International Trade Association?
And Todoroki said he'll get instructions from Goro tomorrow.
This box is packed so tight, huh? What are all the... Whoa! Genshin?
Alright, let's...
Glaze lilies? What are these doing here?
So, did you find anything?
Wow! Look at all the genshin! And glaze lilies too! There are also tons of other plants and flowers Paimon doesn't know here. Weird.
These are valuable raw ingredients for producing medicine. If these few crates were to be imported from Rito, the price would be jaw-dropping.
Smuggling!
On top of that, these items seem to lack a tax clearance certificate, meaning that they were most likely smuggled. Yes, very interesting. Now, where did the Nobushi get these goods? How about you? Did you find anything else? Foreign Trade Association? I've never heard of such an organization in Rito. And if it's regarding foreign trade, then smuggling is an even more likely possibility. All right. In which case, I have a rough hypothesis. First, we...
Huh? Who goes there?
Oh no!
Huh? Wait, Captain? Is that you?
Oh, so it's you, Captain. You had me worried there. Captain, do you remember us? During the war, I was in the field hospital with Masashi. Teppei brought you to see us and helped find medicine for us.
Hey, come on now. The Captain wouldn't forget. I gotta tell you, Captain, we all miss you. We haven't seen you ever since the end of the war. When we heard that you were coming here, we just assumed you were only going to see General Goro and Her Excellency. The guys are all really hoping to see you. We're fine. You don't have to worry about us, Captain.
No, you're not fine. Captain, you may not be aware, but Masashi previously fainted on the front lines. The doctor thought that it might be a neurological condition caused by overstimulated emotions. It's pretty serious. According to the doctor, if it hadn't been for the medication he's been taking, he would have developed dementia.
Oof.
And that was assuming the best case scenario.
You're one to talk. Don't forget why I fainted in the first place. It's because I heard that you got yourself killed by an arrow. I couldn't handle all the emotion. Later, I found out that he'd been shot in the buttocks and it was only a mild injury.
Ha!
I had an emotional breakdown for nothing.
What do you mean for nothing? I got shot not by one, but 2 arrows in a row. The first arrow was to the left cheek, and the second arrow was also to the left.
Pincushion.
And because the arrows were poisonous, the wound still hasn't completely healed yet. I have to apply ointment every day, and I'm constantly worried it might reopen while I sleep.
Look on the bright side. At least we're still alive.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. But enough about us. What brings you here, Captain?
Oh, these goods were all seized from the hands of Nobushi and treasure hoarders. Todoroki was the one who provided us with the intel. He mentioned there were bandits here and there, so we went and took care of them while also confiscating the goods.
By the way, Captain, you still haven't met Todoroki, have you? He's the one we're working for now. Her Excellency recently announced plans to stimulate the economy and created the caravans, with Todoroki at the helm.
Yeah, he's proven to be quite capable. Even though he was just a farmer before, he's now successfully running the caravans. And his two sons were also our brothers in arms. Both received a special medal of honor from General Goro, which is quite remarkable, don't you think?
So, as injured veterans, we've been reassigned to Todoroki. He's the one who gives us orders and pays our salaries now. What do they call that again?
It's called changing careers, dummy.
Ah, right. Changing careers. Anyway, I think the whole caravan thing is wonderful. Our region wasn't very prosperous to begin with, and the land can't grow any crops. We have to pay a hefty price just to get basic food from outside. I can't even imagine trying to maintain and feed an army like we did during the war.
I see. I think I understand the general situation now. May I ask where the apprehended criminals are?
Oh, and you are?
Ah, I see. The captain's friend. It should be okay to tell you then. We apprehended all the culprits and escorted them to a temporary location not far from here. Unfortunately, Masashi and I have other duties tonight and won't be able to take you there. Why don't you wait for a moment and I'll find someone else to show you the way.
I'm pretty sure I've already got a grasp on what's going on. All I need now is to confirm it with the apprehended bandits. Let's go. Are you still a little confused? Let me help connect the dots. This whole thing was actually quite similar to a case I once worked on previously. It was a case involving the trade of prohibited items, and they employed an old trick to execute the deal. The culprit would first go strolling down the street until they knocked over a pedestrian.
They put a long-ass dialogue.
Please forgive us, sir. We are
for a short
nothing more than
walk.
petty thieves.
Sir, what do I look like? A commissioner? Does my friend here look like a commissioner to you?
Officer.
First, I'm gonna need to ask you a few questions.
Sure. Go ahead. Ask anything.
The soldiers discovered many valuable goods in your camp. The goods don't appear to be from around here. So the question is, where did they come from?
Oh, the goods? Right, we picked them up at the beach.
You picked them up?
Well, no, we, actually stole them.
Be honest now. Tell me the whole story.
Yes, sir. I mean, officer. We took those goods from a small merchant ship just off the beach, but we didn't exactly steal them. You see, the ship's guards all took off running the moment they saw us. They abandoned the goods, and we simply came and picked them up. But next thing we know, a group of soldiers arrives, and we're all apprehended. Talk about bad luck. We didn't even have a chance to stash away the goods before we got caught.
You say that the merchant ship's guards fled without putting up a fight. You expect me to believe that?
He just assumed they were scared witless and didn't have the guts to fight. I'm not bragging or anything, but our boss is pretty intimidating. With his massive muscle and strength, he could scare anyone.
You really expect us to believe all this?
No, you gotta believe me. Just the other day, we scared off an entire squad of soldiers. When they noticed us, they went running and dropped their cut. I still remember seeing tons of Songo pearls and crystal marrow on that load. All nice and shiny, too. Whew, it was amazing. Unfortunately, a bunch of pirates came later and snatched those goods. It just happened that our boss had diarrhea that day and couldn't hold off the pirates. This luck of ours.
Wait a tick. Pirates?
Yep, no doubt about it. They came on a massive ship, and their captain was a pretty lady with an eye patch. We had no idea how powerful she was.
Beto?
It was like boom, boom, thud. Only took 3 hits before she knocked out the boss.
A pretty lady with an eye patch?
Oh. Does this description remind you of someone, Paimon?
No!
Okay. And how about you? Really? Okay, I'll take that as a no, then. It appears that the situation is just as I suspected. Todoroki is striking a shady deal with a group of pirates, while General Goro appears to be assisting with the cover-up.
What?
Todoroki said that he'd be going to Sangonomiya early tomorrow morning to get Goro's instructions before the caravan leaves. Now is the time to address any doubts you may have. Tomorrow morning will be our moment to confront them. Hopefully, my final question will be answered then as well. The question of what important thing this island is missing. I can feel some connection to the question in Goro, Todoroki, and even to Kuda and Masashi.
What is the favorite chip? Ryzen 7. Okay, no. Chip as in...
Hopefully, we'll finally have an answer tomorrow. Let's get some rest. I'll see you at Sangonomiya tomorrow morning.
Snack. Look for chips Fuego, which are a purple bag. It's just regular potato chips that has the same powder as the Takis. And it's actually pretty good. Oof, wait until the following day, 8 in the morning. And as for Genshin player characters, the question you asked earlier, Hu Tao. No, Fuego, no Cuervo. Cuervo's a total different thing. As in fire. Fire!
Who are you?
Hello, Todoroki. I'm Shikanoin Heizo, Special Detective of the Tenryou Commission. I believe you've been manipulating large-scale illegal trades for some time now. Mind if we talk about that for a bit?
You can't just go around spewing such nonsense, young man.
And what if I'm not talking nonsense?
Ridiculous. I don't have time to listen to this. Get out of here, you little brat.
I know I'm on the younger side compared to you, Todoroki, so I'm sure you must have heard the old saying. Off the scale, some goods only weigh a couple pounds, but on the scale, they weigh more than 1,000. So the question is, do you want to put your goods on the scale or not?
What are you trying to say?
Well, nothing. All I want to hear is you personally confirming what we already know to be the truth.
Masashi! Tokuda! Arrest these people!
Huh? Todoroki, what's wrong?
Who dares to cause trouble at Sangonomiya Shrine? Huh? Wait, it's... Captain? What are you doing?
These crooks are trying to pry into the secrets of Watatsumi. We mustn't let them go.
But, no. There must be some kind of misunderstanding. Todoroki, this is the captain of Swordfish 2, one of our own.
It doesn't matter who they are. Remember what General Goro told you? A long-term goal of Watatsumi is to revive its trade and commerce. And since you have been assigned to work with me, it's my orders that count around here. I don't care if they were your captain. Would you dare disobey orders?
What do we do?
Well, what are you waiting for? All right, I see how it is. If you two won't do it, I will.
I really hoped it wouldn't come to this. But... here we go.
Wait! Everyone, stand down!
General Goro! You're here.
My apologies, Traveler, Detective Hazo. I wasn't telling you the truth. Todoroki, the Traveler here is the hero who saved Watatsumi Island. Without her, Watatsumi Island would never have found the peace it has today. We mustn't raise our weapons against her.
How could you be so naive, General Goro? If we let them go free, then who's to say the Shogunate won't come after us tomorrow? If the Shogunate decides to investigate, we won't be able to hide the truth.
I wouldn't allow them to take you, Todoroki.
Let's not kid ourselves. If going to jail could solve the problem, I would go and turn myself into the Tenryo Commission right now. The question is, what are we going to do with the goods? Will you be able to keep them? Not to mention the chance of astronomical fines. Can you afford that? Goro, we both know that Watatsumi Island is a barren land. Plant 100 radishes here and maybe only 3 would grow. And those 3 combined would still be smaller than just 1 carrot imported from elsewhere. You can't grow food or medicinal herbs here, and if we buy them from Rito, we pay exorbitant taxes. My eldest son died fighting on the battlefield. But do you know how my second son died? He died because there was no medicine to treat him. You awarded both of them medals of honor. But did that save their lives? Can medals heal Tokuda and Masashi's wounds? No. It was the medicine that I got that saved their lives. If we detain them today, the Shogunate will never know what we've done. Besides, we're only a few months away now. We will set them free once the new bill is passed in just a few months, and everything will be okay. None of what happened here will be mentioned again, and life on Watatsumi Island will continue to improve.
I understand, Todoroki, but they won't...
I can trust the Traveler won't, but the detective here is a Tenryo Commission officer. Forget it. You're the general. I'm just a radish farmer.
It's a new commodity tax bill currently being drafted by the Kanjo Commission. The bill exempts taxes on goods that are in short supply on Watatsumi Island. Once the bill is introduced, we'll be able to buy commodities that we need from regular marketplaces.
Oh, I see. Man alive. I wish I had known sooner. In that case, how about we put your fears at ease and I'll stick around here a little longer. You know, until the bill is introduced.
Huh?
Detective Hazo, are you saying that...
You mean you're willing to stay here, young man?
Come on, you two. What's with the strange looks? You've been keeping me under close surveillance, haven't you? Surely you must have noticed that aside from being a detective, I'm also an ordinary tourist who likes to enjoy good scenery. I believe that after the new commodity bill is passed, there will be more and more traffic between the two sides, and more people will be coming to visit Watatsumi Island. I have to take the opportunity now and enjoy this place while I still have it all to myself. Before long, tourists will start pouring in.
Thank you, Detective Hazo. On behalf of the people of Watatsumi.
My pleasure. But one good turn deserves another, does it not?
Oh, you mean there's something you wish to request?
I suppose you could say I'm from the Shogunate, but the traveler next to me isn't. As far as I know, she is planning to visit other nations soon, and it is unclear if she will return to Narukami Island or not. Therefore, there's no need to limit her freedom, right? I'm sure no one else will hear of what happened today. Am I right, traveler?
Make a loud, resounding promise.
Well, it's settled then. She will always be an important partner to Watatsumi,
I will still be here just
and
lurking.
I would never dream of limiting her freedom. So please, don't worry, Detective Hazo.
I'll hold you to that. But if I ever find out you've lied to me again, there's a chance I'll lose my cool.
I'm sorry for not telling you the truth earlier. It's a serious matter, and I didn't want outside parties to become involved. But today, I realized my poor judgment. How could I possibly hide anything from Detective Hazo and the Traveler?
I'm glad you understand now. But, in all honesty, I'm the one who should be thanking you. It's because of you that I was finally able to reach an answer. After all, nothing makes a detective happier than putting a case to rest.
Ah, I understand now. You really are an interesting person, Detective Hazo.
No, I'm afraid you don't quite get what I mean.
I'm sorry?
Wait! Paimon gets this one! It's the answer to your question, right? The one about the thing you sensed coming from Goro and the others. Now you figured it out!
What? The thing you sensed coming from me? But I always have excellent personal hygiene.
No, not like that.
Hey, Traveler. Could I talk to you for a moment? Besides... Hey, there you are. Come here, look. It's beautiful, isn't it? Watatsumi Island. It's remarkable how such a barren land can give life to such wonderful and stunning scenery. To be honest, I am grateful to you for this trip. Before you arrived, I was running around like a headless chicken. Even if I happened to find out what was going on here, I wouldn't have been able to uncover any concrete information without you present. I'm just sorry that I promised I'd accompany you back. It appears that I won't be able to do so for the time being. So please, cover for me in the meantime, okay? It's all in the past now. Let's just chalk it up as an intriguing experience I had on my trip here. Besides, that's not what I wanted to investigate anyway. Yes. Everyone you led me to and everything they said brought me closer to the answer. And now I finally get it. Watatsumi Island is an ancient land where the soil is poor and many crops do not grow because it's lacking a certain thing. But what the inhabitants of this land do have is bravery. They were courageous enough to stand up and resist the gods and accomplish what they knew could not be done. This is yet another instance in which that certain thing shines. That missing element. That certain thing is what I sensed present in Goro, Todoroki, Tokuda, and Masashi, which is the true vitality of this land. I guess I was mistaken when I declared that something was missing. That something from this island had evaporated into thin air. Because even something that evaporates is not gone. It's still there, just in a different state of being. When water is heated by fire, it evaporates and eventually finds its place in the sky. Similarly, when the land was harmed, its vitality evaporated and eventually found its place among the inhabitants. This is the final answer I've been searching for. Anyway, thanks again. You know, even though we just met, I wish you could be my partner all the time. Call me Grady, I guess. But, of course, I know that's impossible. You have your own journey to complete. So I'll just keep doing what I can. Hopefully keeping my memories from evaporating safe and sound in my mind. That way, I'll always be able to remember these beautiful things. The beauty of Watatsumi Island. The people who are full of life and vitality. And you two, who were by my side.
Oof. Which one should we start? Lady Farusan? Lailas?
All the world.
Wait. Oh, I haven't trained them.
Ad Astra. Thank you for completing today's commission.
This over here is already finished. Parasan.
The world remains constant over the centuries. But human life is like the dew at dawn, or a bubble rising through water. Transitory.
Taikonuke, hola. Gracias por ese follow. Partes de hay. Porque escucho a un whitezican. Bueno, sí. Porque soy del norte. Perdóneme la vida. Soy del mero mero Chihuahua. La tierra prometida donde el chile chilaca está a 8.80. ¿Salsa verde o salsa roja? ¿Y por qué no las dos? Las dos son bien buenas. Salsa rojita con un chile colorado. Una carne deshebrada con chile colorado. Hijo de su pinche madre. Y para la salsa verde se me antoja más, pero para un asado. Un asado de puerco. ¿Quesadillas con queso o quesillo? Mira, la quesadilla bien tiene la palabra queso. Así que todas las quesadillas llevan queso. Regla del norte. Una quesadilla a huevo lleva queso.
Even though most of the academia's restrictions have significantly relaxed, I'm still a bit worried that the Matra might give her trouble. I need to stay here to keep an eye on the situation. Kale, can you head to Sumeru City and find out why she isn't here yet?
Does it have to be me?
Última y más importante. Ah, la chingada, a ver. ¿Qué es una jicaleta? Oh. Changos, güey. Una jicaleta, güey. Qué rico. Ok. Agarras un pedazo de jícama. Bueno, agarras una jícama. La partes. Haces una paleta, güey. Le pones un pinche palito. Y luego le pones un chamoycito, güey. Y luego también un chamoycito, limoncito, güey. Le puedes poner el polvito de Lucas, güey. Bien sabroso, güey. Como la mangoneada. Ah, no, qué rico, güey. Una jicama, güey. Neta, güey, me la antojaste. Ahorita no encuentro en ningún lado.
I'd only assign a job this important to someone I
Ese
trust.
white chicken está culturizado.
Are you not feeling well?
No. ¿Sabes qué es culturizado? Saber que la chasca, saber que el elote en vaso, el trolelote, ¿qué otra cosa? El esquite, todas esas son la misma mamada.
Oh no, I'm fine. I've completely recovered. It's just that if I'm going to see her, I think I need to mentally prepare myself first.
Elote en vaso, acá le decimos en el norte, le decimos elote en vaso. En el norte, pero más allá por Nuevo León, le dicen elote felí. En el centro del país, en algunos lados le dicen chasca. Y luego también está el esquite. ¿Y la salsa sonora hay ahí? No, no he visto salsa sonora. Tenemos salsa valentina, lo más común acá. Salsa valentina y así de salsa de tipo fiesta, de mesa. Salsa valentina. Tajín de a huevo, güey. Eso está en todo México. Eso no falta. Ese es el MSG, güey, de México. Básicamente.
I know. You'll have a tough time if you go by yourself. If we could arrange for someone to accompany you.
¿Me puedes hacer una revisión aprovechando que estás? ¿Revisión de qué? ¿Qué te reviso?
Oh, hey there!
It's been a while. What a coincidence. Sorry, that's not what I meant. It's just that this matter concerns research banned by the academia. Not the sort of thing you'd shout from the rooftops. Also, you happen to know about this situation. There are very few people I can trust to be discreet right now. After giving it much thought, I believe you're the most suitable person for this task.
Huh.
It's complicated, and this isn't the best place to talk about it. We'll fill you in on the details once she arrives. You might have heard about her in Sumeru before. Her name is Farazan, and she's a very experienced senior researcher. Let's just say that a huge part of Kasharawar's mechanical research over the past 100 years has used her academic discourse and manuscripts as their foundation.
Es una abuela.
She is, but she vanished for 100 years because of a certain incident. She only returned to the academia after being found in the wilderness a few years ago. Because of that, her current personality can be a bit, strange, as is her attitude towards Kale.
I'm getting a headache just thinking about it.
Sí, sí entendí lo de personajes.
She doesn't have bad intentions, so you don't have to be scared.
I'll try.
Yes. Kasharawar and Spontamod researchers are often quite prejudiced, so I can't trust them with this matter. However, Farazan isn't influenced by modern thinking. In our previous correspondence through letters, she indicated that she'd be willing to help. It's already past our arranged meeting time. But she still hasn't shown up. I don't think so. With her personality, it's more likely that she got wrapped up in some sort of trouble. Anyway, can you go with Kale to the academia and check on Farazan for me?
Thank goodness. I was so anxious.
I'm counting on you two. Kale, don't push yourself too hard. Just go there and see what's going on.
No sé qué es eso.
Our task is important, but not that urgent. If Farazan really is in some trouble, come back and tell me about it. We can always reschedule our meeting. After all, if she's distracted by other things, it'll affect her ability to help us.
All right, let's go!
En los boalas. Fíjate que a mí no me tocó comprar muchos boalas. Los boalas ya llegaron cuando yo ya estaba adolescente, no tanto de niño. ¿Y los tazos? No, si los tazos son de toda la vida, güey, no manches. De hecho, me acuerdo que primero eran los tazos. Y me acuerdo que los primeros tazos que llegué a agarrar fueron unos de Pokémon. Luego, las Sabritas se le ocurrió ser únicos y originales. Y sacaron unas mamás que tenías que armar y no sé qué chingados. No me acuerdo del nombre. Fue un fracaso total. Y luego volvieron a los tazos. Y luego sacaron los tazos de metal. Que dices, no mames, güey, los pinches te salió un tazo de metal, güey. ¡A la verga! Obviamente un niño de primaria no va a decir a la verga en ese entonces, ¿verdad? Decía, no manches. Qué chido, güey, yo quiero, güey. Y luego te decía, te cambio 10 tazos normales por el tazo de metal. A la fregada, güey. Dame tus papitas, güey. A la fregada. Éramos bien pinche mañosos, güey, chiquitos.
Inactivity serves no
Mañosos
purpose
de a
whatsoever.
madres. Los tazos cuadrados. Yo no los recuerdo los tazos cuadrados. Yo recuerdo los tazos de mucha lucha, güey, que estaban así bien grandotes. Si me haces una revisión, pues no soy muy bueno con revisiones, pero pues pasa el código. Hablando de revisiones, tengo que revisar cómo va la impresión en la impresora 3D. Eran unos tazos cuadrados que pegabas para hacer un cubo. Eran de la era de hielo, no me acuerdo. A mí me tocaron los de mucha lucha. Y los de mucha lucha eran unos pinches tazotes. Podía salir un tazo enorme. Esos eran tazos. Tazos chidos. Innecesariamente grandes. Ah, y creo que también salieron unos de Medabots. Eran de Medabots, Pokémon, los de mucha lucha. Esos son los más icónicos que me acuerdo. Y luego los de Dragon Ball. Ay. Ahí está. Salieron unos que tenían protección los tazos. ¿Tú dices el portatazos? Una madre que literalmente era como si estuvieras cargando el cartucho de una pistola. Literalmente eso eran. Dog Hands Assistant. Ok. Vamos a ver qué buen rol. Buen rol. No estoy muy seguro qué es lo que necesita Nilu, pero pues puede ser un buen rol. Este está chido. Hydro Damage Bonus con Crit Damage. Si te hubiera salido con un poquito más de Crit Rate. Bueno, no sé si juntaste el Crit Rate ya, déjame ver. Ah, ok, sí, duele. Tiene 23% de Crit Rate. No sé qué se especifica. Playing Sims 4 and there's a fence gate called Spanish Inquisition. Qué raro, lo tengo acostumbrado a verlo en español. No, es que como yo entiendo el inglés, me gusta más leerlo en inglés. C0 y coronada. ¿Qué pasó aquí? Me imagino que la tienes para puro support. Primordial J Cutter con Crit Rate. ¿Cuánto Crit Rate traes? ¡Oh! ¡Te pasas! Ok, esta Furina está chida. Y lo tienes para hacer support. Me imagino que lo utilizas para hacer Vaporize o algo así, ¿no? A ver. Staff of Homa or Bust. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Cómo que Dragon's Bane? $68,193. Si tuvieras el Staff of Homa. Holy pollo. Segundo, Crimson Bouquet. Bien. Y coronada. Sí, entonces estás haciendo Vaporize. Está chido. Me acabas de recordar ese video de una chica diciendo la marca Colgate. Ah, sí, Colgate, güey. Ay, cómo lo que pasó. Me acabas de recordar otra cosa que también Hay una entrevistadora de la Fórmula 1 que estaba entrevistando a una persona en el podio después de las carreras. Y la persona se apellidaba Ricciardo. Pero de mamalona estaba hablando con un acento italiano y quiso decir Ricciardo, pero le salió mal. Y digamos que si rima con Ricky y tardo, pues... fue el fail más grande de la Fórmula 1 que se haya podido ver. Está en YouTube, lo puedes buscar. Cryo damage. A la chingada, güey, con el crit damage, güey, qué pedo. 2 elemental. Es por el B-Splitter. No estoy seguro cómo funciona la habilidad, pero... when a character opponent's effect of increased by 20% if the opponent is present by... Crit rate is increased by initial 20%, entonces no necesitas preocuparte por el crit rate porque tienes un 40% garantizado. Técnicamente. Ok. 71-154. ¿Cómo lo busco? F1 reportera Ricciardo. Ricciardo es con doble C. Es R-I-C-C-I-A-R-D-O. Ricciardo. Está en inglés y se mamó. Energy Recharge. C0, 2, 10, 10. Y por los atributos está bien. 43 de 46 de Hydro Damage bonus. Está bien. Yula, a ver. Wolf's Gravestone. Clásico. 5683 con 144 de ER. Physical, me imaginé. Pero me salieron anuncios. 10, 10, 10. Yo me mico con 10, 10, 10. 81, 217, 146. Elemental Master 569. Búscalo como F1 reportera Ricciardo. R-I-C-C-I-A-R-D-O. Lo puedes buscar, creo que también como Interview Fail o algo así. Fue muy famoso en TikTok hace como unos 4 meses más o menos, algo así. O creo que fue durante la F1 de Las Vegas, no me acuerdo. Fue reciente. 68, 130, 258 de IR. Y 46. A huevo, güey, de Catch Gang. ¿Me salió un accidente? No. Déjame lo busco. Que a lo mejor hay que buscarla en inglés. Es de Daniel Ricciardo. No lo encuentro ya. Lo habrán tumbado. Es que digamos que utilizó una palabra prohibida. Oh, ya lo encontré. Ahí está. Ah. Sí se pasó. Vas a atacar 500. A ver, ¿qué tenemos aquí? Más 80 de crit damage. Que viene siendo total 130, 68. Siento que le falta... 21, 5... Está bien. Siento que los Shogun todavía la estás armando. Colgate. Sí, ¿verdad? Siento que los Shogun la estás armando todavía. Porque pues yo también la tengo con The Catch, pero siento que a lo mejor puedes conseguir ciertas cositas más. Por ejemplo, a mí me falta conseguir un artefacto para lograr el 50 y más del 116. No me acuerdo cuál, creo que era esta. Sí. El circlet.
Over the centuries, but human...
Pero ya a este punto ya me dio huevo armar personajes, la verdad. Así, super meta. Así como los tengo ya... I'm happy. El otro pan es gringo, americano, como se le dice, güero. Sí, bueno, acá les decimos gringos.
Sorry, what did you say? Oh, could you repeat yourself? As you know, I'm sure, hearing goes with age.
El otro pana, no, el otro pana es italiano. Al que estaba entrevistando es italiano. Por eso se llama Ricciardo. Pero no mames. Oh, hablaba del chat. A la otra persona que está aquí. Es una she, her, y sí. Casada, amiga.
Farzan, I said that you need to give us an answer.
Yes. And did you forget to add madam when you addressed me earlier?
Your hearing is perfectly fine. Madam Farzan, we don't want to make things difficult for you. However, you haven't been teaching courses or supervising theses these past few years.
Van apenas hacer los colores en inglés. Es she, her, ella, son los pronouns, los pronombres. Ya es que ahorita andan con mamadas de pronombres de they, them, she, her, he, him, taco, burrito. Por eso hago mención y presencia. Es comida. Depende. Depende cómo te identifiques.
Isn't this rather problematic as an advisor? Never mind the students. Even other advisors are starting to complain.
And who, if I may ask, complained? If they have any issue with me, tell them to talk to me themselves rather than waste any of your time. You don't have to tell me anything. I very well know that it's those people from Haravatat. How I wish they'd put their time into doing proper research instead.
But, Madame Farzan, it has been a long while since you last made any practical academic contribution yourself.
Academic contribution cannot simply be divided between the tangible and the intangible. The issue here, I believe, is that the reviewer doesn't understand the very nature of knowledge itself.
En base a tu experiencia, ¿tú recomiendas comprar en AliExpress? Me la mantengo comprando en AliExpress. ¿Por qué? Porque, de hecho, mira, compré filamento para impresora 3D en AliExpress. Hay que saber comprar. Obviamente, pues, hay herramientas que te ayudan. AliHelper es una herramienta muy buena. Ten en cuenta que, por ejemplo, aquí en México tardan los envíos en llegar semana y media, a lo mucho 2 semanas, dependiendo si se atravesó un puente chino. Que viene siendo una serie de días feriados. Entonces, los envíos se acumulan, no salen y nos toca el short end of the stick. ¿Qué recomiendas al momento de comprar? Dicen que no recibes lo que pides y así que se queda en aduanas. En México no se queda en aduanas. Eso era antes. Te estoy hablando de hace 2 años. Sí se tardaban mucho los pedidos en llegar. Se podían tardar hasta 3 meses. El año pasado, más o menos por ahí de junio, se abrió el almacén dedicado de AliExpress. Y AliExpress empezó a contratar una logística que se llama Mail Americas. Mail Americas se encarga de distribuir todos los envíos que vienen de China y distribuirlos a diferentes logísticas aquí internas en México, como por ejemplo Quality Post, SCM, JIT Express, que son muy buenos. Entre muchos otros. Correos de México ya no toca nada. Y es lo más importante. Aduanas ya también casi ni se meten en estos rollos. Generalmente, si el pedido es menos de 10 kilogramos, o si pasa o si no pasa de los $50, no te la hacen de pedo. Si pasa de los $50, ya te cobran un impuesto. Y AliExpress ya te cobra el impuesto por adelantado. O sea, ya ni siquiera necesitas hacer declaración de nada ni nada. Ya todo te lo maneja la plataforma. Está súper bien. Porque ya tienen un entendimiento de cómo funciona, por ejemplo, aquí en México, el sistema aduanero. Comprar del Express es barato siempre y cuando sabes cómo comprar. Yo recomiendo que compres todo de la sección de Choice si no tienes mucha confianza. Choice son productos que ya tienen en el almacén de AliExpress y sabes que existen y te los van a mandar. Y tienen garantía de entrega. La garantía de entrega es de que si pasa un tiempo y tú todavía no recibes el producto, ellos te mandan un cupón de descuento por $1 y no importa si te llega o no te llega. Si no te llega el producto, te hacen la devolución total del dinero. Total. De hecho, me acaba de pasar con un producto. Mandé pedir 5 kilos de un filamento de una tienda que a final de cuentas estaba haciendo una estafa. Le salió mal y me devolvieron todo el dinero. Me lo devolvieron hoy, precisamente. Y también mando a pedir componentes como Arduinos y todas esas cosas y me llegan bien.
In any case, makes no sense to use a metric like this to evaluate a mentor. Which sage set this rule anyway? I should write a letter of complaint right this instant.
Wait! Madame Farzan, please let me finish.
That's her, all right. But the person with her doesn't look like a Matra. Shh! She hates it when people call her young. Her body apparently stopped aging during the year she was gone. So that's why she looks the same as she did 100 years ago. Okay, I think I'm ready for this. Let's...
Anyway, Akara Crafts and the leader of Kasharawar would like to invite you to collaborate on this project. They're wondering if you'd be interested. Madame Farazan?
Mm-hmm. Ah, Kale! Why are you here at the Academia? Are you feeling better now?
I'm much better, Madame Farazan. It's all thanks to the Traveler and the Dendro Archon.
Have you been sleeping well? You seem to be developing some eye bags. Is that brat Tainari forcing you to stay up late again?
No, it's because I'm a slow learner. It's not Master's fault.
It's good to be hardworking, but you need to take care of your health. I'll have to give Tainari a right talking to when I see him. I'll also prepare some health supplements for you.
¿Qué me dices de shop? Nunca he comprado en shop. He comprado de varias tiendas chinas. Temu no le tengo confianza. ¿Por qué? Porque te incitan mucho a comprar. Y siento que lo único que van a terminar haciendo es crear un vicio. Shein, sí he sabido de personas que compran y les llegan. De Dial Extreme también. Hijo, ¿cuál otro sitio llegué a comprar? Pero no me acuerdo del nombre. Un sitio muy viejo. Pero de Shopee no... Creo que ese es ruso y sí te llegan las cosas, pero te llegan lento.
There's really no need.
Ah, and is the person beside you the legendary Traveler? Oh, I've heard much about you before. In fact, I've been meaning to meet you for a while now. It is thanks to you, after all, that the Academia is finally getting back on its feet. Even Kali's illness is... I'd wager it's those Kasharwar dunderheads finding excuses so that I'd go to their darshan. Say no more. I have no plans to change my field of research.
If you're this unwilling to participate in the collaborative project, you can also consider teaching a class. It might be difficult to teach a course with topics that only fall within Haravatat's subjects, but we can't delay this anymore. You need to give an answer. You can teach a course or participate in a collaborative project. If you don't do either, it'll be hard for me to persuade the advisors and students who have been complaining.
Could you not give me a few more days to consider? This matter has been delayed for so long already.
That's precisely the issue. If you don't give an answer today, I fear that someone will soon escalate their complaints to the sages.
What a waste of free time these folks are. Now you two are here at Tainari's behest, I take it. I'm sorry, but given the current situation, it looks like I'll have to come over some other day. Of course. I shall need some time to think as well.
What now? She seems so busy.
Es verdad que ya comen mucho la tortillina, güey. No. Las tortillinas tía Rosa, no. Se comen la tortilla de harina, hecha a mano. O de tortillería, pero de tortillina, no. Así específicamente tortillina, es muy raro ya. Antes yo creo que sí. Porque no todas las tortillerías de supermercado o tortillerías como tal manejaban tortillas de harina, porque es un proceso muy complicado. Y generalmente las podías encontrar nomás hechas a mano, no producidas en masa. Eran cosas que se hacían en casa. Pero ahorita como ya todo se produce en masa, pues ya es más común. Tortillinas ya casi no se consumen acá.
Master said there's no rush, but I know that he's been busy working on something at Pardees DI, so he hasn't returned to Gandharville for several days now. I feel for Madame Farazan, but I still want to ask her to come with us. But if I get her in trouble with the Academia, then she won't have the time to help Master. What should I do? Oh, this is such a headache. Yeah, that would be the best for them both. I'll check with Master later and see if there's anything I can help him with. But I'm sure he'll say, the best thing you can do now is study hard, so I don't have to give you remedial lessons.
¿Tú puedes pasarte una mantecada sin tomar nada? ¿Sí? ¿Es una mantecada?
Huh? Oh yes! This way she can get her problem sorted out quickly, and then she can go see Master. So if I also stay and help... that still sounds kinda scary. Okay then. I'm counting on you.
Ahí está la bifurcación de caminos. Dos encontré ahí.
I have to teach students from Haravatat or owe Kasharawar a favor. It strikes me that they might be even less happy about such a deal than I am.
I think I can sympathize with them.
We're back, Madame Farazan. The Traveler said that she can stay and help you.
Oh, why I couldn't ask for more. In fact, I'm rather curious about the type of person the Traveler is. You were the one who taught Azar a lesson after all. That said, will I be troubling you?
¿Un qué? ¿Un limoncho? What? Nunca había escuchado eso.
Is that so? Good. It does so happen that I do have something I need help with. Now, should I apply to teach a course with Haravatat, or join the collaborative project that Kasharawar is proposing? Honestly, I don't want to choose either of them.
You might have heard of it before. Haravatat is an academic faction that researches languages and runes. 100 years ago, Madame Farazan was a researcher from that darshan.
Now, not was. Still am.
Yes, of course. But current Haravatat students can't really... understand her direction of research. So even if she opened a course, chances are that no one would attend.
In summary, I mean to interpret the configurations and solutions of ruin mechanisms via the deciphering of on-site stone carvings and unearthed documents. It'll include research into general documents dealing with such ancient machines.
The research method is supported by Haravatat, yes, but the content deals heavily with both ruins and mechanisms. This will make it difficult for students of this darshan because they don't understand much about mechanisms. Also, there are fewer and fewer unexplored ruins left nowadays, and Kasharawar researchers have been developing their own theories on mechanisms. As such, they don't need to rely on ancient documents.
They're far too complacent. Ancient mechanisms are more dangerous and complex than one might imagine. I'm telling you, things weren't like this 100 years ago. All researchers back then were interested in exploring knowledge
¿Consideras que
from
el
a variety
bocadín
of
es un
topics.
buen dulce?
They also gave more respect to unknown
Uy.
mechanisms.
Bocadín me suena. Ah, ya sé cuáles son. Es un dulce clásico, pero no lo consideraría como bueno.
Nowadays, all people are interested in are mainstream subjects in popular research. Even if they attended my course, I wouldn't be interested in teaching them.
Es muy seco.
Also, the people here think that my research is outdated and unrealistic, so they keep cutting my funding. Why, I think they could all stand to learn from Kale. She's a hard-working child and respects her elders.
Huh? Why me?
Ah, if only those who came to my lectures were more like you. Speaking of which, are you feeling better? You don't have to confine yourself to Gandharvaville anymore, right?
I just remembered that I have a lot of studying to do. I need to head back and find Master.
Hmm? Are you telling me to start a reading course for Kale?
Huh?
Wait. Although Tainari has academic dealings with the academia, he isn't considered part of it. This means that Kale isn't technically a student.
No, she's right. The old academia became consumed by their arrogance precisely because they ignored the public.
¿Qué prefieres? ¿Los troyanos o las emperador? Las troyanas. Ninguna de las dos. Honestamente, güey, y soy de esos de los que tienen la opinión que las emperador de limón son la cosa más asquerosa del mundo.
There must surely be many people like Kale and Sumeru who are passionate about learning but cannot study due to various reasons. The old academia paid no heed to them. But if I start a reading course for Kale as a pilot, perhaps this shall come to benefit many more people in the future.
Yo soy más así de que, unas tartinas o unas florentinas. Algo que tenga mermelada. Eso sí me gusta.
I'll need to go back and ask if this is in accordance with regulations.
Oh, save yourself the extra trouble. I'll come with you. If there's any arguments to be had, we shall sweep them aside together. Traveler, Kale, do wait for us a little while outside the academia. I'll be back in just a moment. Wait! Let's catch up with her. I can't believe she rushed right in after we arrived. She's really headstrong. Oh, how did things turn out like this? No, not really. Madame Farazan is a brilliant scholar. Even Master thinks so. If she's really going to teach me how to read, it'll definitely be much better than me bashing my head against the wall.
¿Y las picafresas? Dude, bendita cosa. Benditas sean las picafresas. ¿Sabes qué también está bien chido, güey? Las paletas de mango con chile.
It's just that she can get a bit too passionate sometimes. I don't know how to handle that. Maybe it's because she wants to take me in as a student? It's just like that researcher said. The academia has completely changed during the 100 years that Farazan was gone. I don't really get it. But it does seem like Haravatat's students aren't optimistic about the prospects of doing research with her. Students who are interested in mechanisms and applications of the elements generally enroll in Kasharawar and Spontamod. Madame Farazan also refuses to accept random students just to make up numbers. She still hasn't found a student she likes, even after all this time back. But she seems to like my attitude toward learning, so she often asks me if I'm willing to become her student. It's because I'm a slow learner that I have no choice but to stay up late and study. Whenever she compliments me, I feel really guilty. It's not that. Madame Farazan respects my choices. She hasn't been trying to persuade me, especially since she knows I need to rest and recuperate. She sometimes brings food to Gandharvaville for me, and each time she says that Master can't find out. Now that you mention it, it does feel a bit like that. Do I really look that young? Kale, Traveler, thank you for waiting.
That was fast.
The issue has been resolved. I argued with the higher-ups and convinced them of the practicality and necessity of educating the general public. If I'm not mistaken, they're the students of my classmates' students. They're a lot less forceful than their predecessors, though. I'd say they caved rather quickly.
Mazapán.
Amazing.
Qué rico. Pero muy seco. No soy muy fan. Mi papá es demasiado fan del mazapán. Or they were coerced.
It's just that we need to fill in every single page of the application. It's been a century, but the academia is as picky as ever. Let's see now. What do we need to fill in? Course name, learning objectives, teaching methods, course materials. I suppose we can fill in the course name last. That's a bit too general, I'd say. After all, this class's target audience isn't toddlers or children, but rather people who already know the basics of reading. As such, we'll need a more specific learning objective. How about proficiency in reading and writing?
Dr. Pepper o Coca. Uy. La Coca-Cola es algo muy de México. La Dr. Pepper no tanto, pero la Dr. Pepper tiene un buen sabor, güey, está difícil. Pero creo que le voy más a la Coca que a la Dr. Pepper. La Dr. Pepper está buena. Don't get me wrong. Pero si me dan a elegir entre Dr. Pepper y una sangría, voy a agarrar la sangría encima de la Dr. Pepper. Y si me dan una coca o una sangría, voy a agarrar la coca. Entonces...
That's true. If we use children's teaching materials, we'll only end up wasting a lot of time on things that students would already know.
And you have your job as a forest ranger, Kale. People who attend this course in the future are also likely to have life commitments. We need more effective teaching methods.
Güey, carne asada con Dr. Pepper no está mal.
Master always tells me that practice is the best way to learn. That's why I often ask him to help me find simple books to read.
It must have been difficult to get books in Sumeru in recent years, no? Tainari really went the extra mile for you. Expanding literacy is a capital notion. Now that the academia is easing restrictions on the circulation of books, there should be more people who have become interested in reading. It's a great time to conduct this course. So that's next on the list. I fear that I'm at a loss as to which books youngsters like nowadays. Would The Legend of Antara be too old of a story?
How old that story is exactly?
Fair. Kale, what have you been reading lately?
Me? I've been reading light novels from Inazuma. I heard that ever since we were allowed to sell books in Sumeru again, some people set up stalls at Treasure Street to sell light novels. I've been meaning to go there and check it out.
¿Chamito o Yakult? Yakult. Aunque ninguno de los dos me gusta.
Light novels? This is my first time hearing about such a thing, but I doubt I will procure suitable teaching materials from the House of Dana. Treasure Street it is.
Wait for us, Madame Farazan! You wouldn't think someone as fast as her is over 100. Let's pick up the pace and catch up to her.
Ay, era arriba. Eso no es Treasure Street. Más arriba.
What a long and mildly ungrammatical title. And why is the cover so colorful?
Is this your first time seeing a light novel, ma'am? Oh, they're the most popular of books nowadays. Would you like me to recommend something?
Fine. One shouldn't judge a book by its cover after all. May we browse through the books here?
Of course. Why don't you try this one? It's Outlander Brigade, When the Wind of Death Blew Towards the Blonde Samurai.
I heard that this book's author describes action in vivid detail.
Now I've only skimmed through a few pages, but it feels like it's all fight scenes. There are only subjects and predicates, and the syntax is a tad simple.
Subjects? Predicates?
The protagonist just ends up fighting in every scene with no proper build-up. Will anyone even enjoy a story that's only comprised of fights?
How about... the good thing about being reincarnated as a hilly churl is that I only need to eat sunset...
Organilleros, no sé qué es eso específicamente. A lo mejor acá le decimos de otra forma. Oh. Chale, güey, creo que en el pasado. Pero recientemente no he visto ninguno, ni en el centro.
A reincarnation isekai story? Those are pretty popular right now.
Isekai? What in the world is that? Also, why does it become stronger by eating Sensetias? Tropes? Those fictional rules used to push the plot forward, yes? They're Definitely effective in achieving a distancing effect.
Sorry. What is this distancing effect?
However, this book doesn't explain how reincarnation correlates to becoming stronger. Such an illogical rule will affect the coherence of the story. Will readers really accept this?
How about this? I had to fight tooth and nail to get this in stock.
Oh, that's the latest volume of Onibudo!
Por esos lados, ahí le pones un changuito de ganan bien.
Now that's a rather normal title length. Oh, Kale, do you like this series?
Yes, but I don't like it that much. Madam, are you going to use this series as teaching material?
Let me see. The dialogue flows quite well, but there are too many phrases here that I don't recognize. Third eye of perception, illusory mirror, and so on. Are these terms that are tied to tropes?
I also thought those names were strange when I was reading them.
It's impossible to derive the meaning of these phrases in isolation. Also, their morphological properties are quite pedestrian, really.
Tortas ahogadas o chilaquiles. Yo no le diría que no una torta ahogada.
Or did the protagonists purposely create these strange names to disorient their foes? So there's no deeper purpose. It's quite hard to understand stories written these days.
You're right. It's such a weird book. But you keep wanting to read the next page.
Even the most popular book in Sumeru back then had greater depth than anything written today. Yes, a Bahumano researcher wrote it while researching folk legends. The plot had many twists. The world building was fantastic, and even the writing could withstand scrutiny. When it was still being published, many people in the academia were reading it. Even the sages back then all described the story as a timeless classic. The series must have concluded after so many years, right? Perhaps it's even more popular now.
Is there a book like that in Sumeru? I've never heard of such a thing before. What's the title?
Oh shit. Torta ahogada o pozole? Pozole.
It's called Tales of Shariar. Do you sell it here?
Tales of Shariar? I don't think I've heard of that before. When was it published?
About 100 years ago.
100 years ago? Are you pulling my leg? What sort of book can remain popular for 100 years?
The Legend of Antara is popular to this very day, isn't it? I just heard someone telling it a few days ago in a cafe. If an old story like that is still being shared, then Tales of Shariar must be even more popular.
Even if that is the case, I really don't carry that book here in my store.
What? Is that because of the academia's strict control over books in recent years? I can't believe they've allowed the people of Sumeru to become so uncivilized. How can they not know about the Tales of Shariar?
Tales of Shariar? Oh, wait. I think I heard an antique seller on the other end of Treasure Street mention that name before.
Pozole o esquite? Pozole, güey.
I mean, it is a book from 100 years ago. Why don't you try asking for it there?
Tales of Shariar is considered an antique now? How could the academia have let such
Pozole,
an
tacos al
excellent
pastor,
work of
tacos al
literature be
pastor.
forgotten like this? Traveler, Kale, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Let's meet at the antique sellers.
Madam, wait! Oh no, this is bad. You asked me why I'm scared of Madame Farazan, right? It's not because I don't know how to respond to her kindness. It's because I'm afraid of that ancient language she researches, because I can barely understand any of it. What if she uses ancient texts as teaching material? Even so, what if researchers from 100 years ago like to use ancient languages in their books? We've got to catch up to her!
Tacos al pastor o carnita asada. ¿Se va o no se va a hacer la carnita asada? ¿Dónde chingados?
found it! The 5th volume of Tales of Shahryar! Wow, you actually found it!
I never thought this book would ever get sold.
All right.
No mames, güey, tiene una voz bien profunda.
Secured. We also now know what to call this course. Analysis of classical texts. After all, this book is definitely worthy of being called a classic.
Can I take a look? Luckily the language being used here isn't ancient at all. I can recognize a few words here and there. Huh? But why aren't there pictures in this book?
Si habla el Rugal, ya sé.
As long as the writing is good, readers won't need any illustrations to imagine the scenes. Worry not. I shall thoroughly explain the difficult sections. You'll like this book. I know it. After all this time, I wonder if Aaliyah and Aziz ended up together. And who obtained the Desert Gem in the end? Sir, do you have the subsequent volumes of this series?
I don't think so.
Is that so? And here I thought I could finally read the ending. Never mind. I'll keep searching for the later volumes myself. If I'm to use it as a teaching material, it's better to start earlier in the series. Where are the first 4 volumes? Why aren't they all together?
I don't have those either. Actually, this is the only volume I have.
Is this series really that popular?
No. It's not popular at all. Rather, there's absolutely no demand for it.
No demand? Impossible. Back then, I'd come across at least 3 groups of people talking about it during a single stroll at the academia.
Seriously? No one told me that this book was anything special when I first got it.
Where did you get this from?
Personaje favorito del King of Fighters. Kula. Ese NPC tiene más voz de locutor que de NPC, sí, güey.
I'm afraid not. This book was sold together with a whole bunch of antique furniture. I didn't even notice it initially. Otherwise, the Matra would have come knocking. Wait, is this book actually worth a lot? It can't be, right?
That's impossible. No matter how strict the academia was, there's no way Tales of Shahryar could have fallen into such a state.
I do remember a passerby skimming through the book a few days ago. However, he simply sighed and left.
He sighed? Why would he react like that? Given the quality of Tales of Shahryar, he should have been entranced after a single glance. I'm sorry. Traveler, Kale, please give me a moment. I'd like to look through this book first. Why is there another misunderstanding between Ali and Aziz? Also, why is there no mention of the Desert Gem at all? And a new character is introduced with no foreshadowing at all? Also, what are all these new names and terms? Is this really the Tales of Shahryar I know?
Well, that passerby reacted in much the same way. It's Mada from the cafe over there. You know, the fellow who spends all day telling the legend of Antara.
Oh, shit. Bueno, me retiro porque aquí es muy tarde, güey. Yo sé, güey. Aquí son las 2:45 de la mañana.
Since that's also a very old story, maybe he knows a thing or two about that, Tales of, whatever it's called.
Then let's go ask around at the cafe. Huh? Madame Barizon?
Huh? Oh, yes. Let's go.
God damn.
Another day, another empty room.
Excuse me? But are you Mada?
Yes! Are you here to listen to my story?
Well, we actually came to ask about something else.
I see.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'm used to it, more or less. So, how can this terribly unpopular storyteller help you?
Do you know about Tales of Shahryar?
Huh? Tales of Shahryar? Why, I can barely remember the last time anyone talked about it. My master always talked about how incredibly popular that book used to be. However, I tried reciting a few chapters of it at the cafe, and I found that it's even less popular than the Legend of Antara.
Your master?
Yes, the one who taught me how to be a storyteller. He said that Tales of Shahryar was written by his master's master's master. He also said that this great-great-grandmaster was an academia researcher, and that even the sages liked the series. He wrote 4 volumes back then, and the reviews just got better and better. You couldn't find a single person in Sumeru who hadn't read his books.
And then? What happened next? Why doesn't anyone know about Tales of Shahryar now?
Oh, it's hard to tell when it comes to trends. One day everyone likes stories like that, and the next day their tastes change completely. Instead of writing a proper ending, this great-great-grandmaster kept trying to extend the story. To tap into popular trends, he added a lot of tropes. Then, starting from the 5th volume, the reviews started to go downhill.
How could that be? Then what happened to Tales of Shahryar in the end?
In the end, there's no ending. The great-great-grandmaster tried to write a few more volumes, following whatever trends were popular at the time, but the trends kept changing right as he published his books.
Goddamn.
He got so infuriated that he stopped writing altogether and focused on his research instead.
What? So there's no ending? The readers didn't care?
By that time, only a very small number of people were reading Tales of Shahryar. Anyway, my master probably exaggerated. How could a work possibly have been that popular? The only tangible thing my great-great-grandmaster left is the original draft of Legend of Antara. He also left behind many theses from his research phase. When my master talked about Legend of Antara, he'd even quote from those theses. My master is a much better storyteller than me. Even when we're telling the same story about Antara, he's always able to draw in a huge crowd. But even he won't recite Tales of Shahryar due to its ever-changing writing style and its lack of an ending.
So, Antara's story is the one that lasted through the years.
Well, not even sages can definitively ascertain the quality of something like a story. In the end, only time can separate the classics from the fads.
Only time? Madame Farazan? It's been 100 years. Perhaps some things I once believed to be great aren't so after all.
Yeah! Master helped me find a lot of famous books at first, but in the end, I realized that I couldn't get into them. No matter how good those stories are, I can't improve my skills if I can't bring myself to read them in the first place.
Huh. Indeed. That is true. Readers' interests and trends of a time are not things that are so easily predicted. What was popular 100 years ago could be completely forgotten in modern times. And yet, 100 years, as far as history is concerned, is but a blink of an eye. If Tales of Shahryar hadn't chased after trends and instead stuck to its original style from start to finish, it might have stood some chance of gaining renewed popularity. No, even if that didn't happen, at least it would be a work that was true to itself.
Huh? Our conversation just got a lot more serious.
I don't really get what you're talking about, but it does sound sensible. Looks like I also have to hang in there and tell Antara's story well.
How unseemly. I almost got carried away because of a single book. Well then, we should get back to the matter of our teaching material. It looks like we can't use Tales of Shahryar now. No, it's much too old. Kale, you found a book that you liked at the bookstall, yes?
Yes, but I don't really...
Then we'll use that book as our teaching material. Now that I think about it, using a book that you like is the most suitable choice for teaching you how to read. As for the academia, as long as we come up with an appropriate course name, we should be able to get away with this. My, it sounds like you've dealt with the academia before. Let's go with that. Now then, let's return to the book vendor in a bit and buy the latest volume of this Onibudo for Kale. Ah, but if I wish to use it as teaching material, I have to read it first. Huh? Speaking of which, other than third eye of perception and illusory mirror, I also espy some unfamiliar phrases from the reader's messages at the back of the book. Such things as, even if it reminds me of my dark history, I still can't help but be drawn in by the story. And the author has written all the things that I only dare whisper into a tree hollow. Why do people use dark history to refer to awkward or embarrassing memories? Is this some slang that was invented in the last century? If one of our learning objectives was researching linguistic changes over the past 100 years, it might make it easier to get these books approved as teaching material.
Oh, I can tell you what that's all about. Apparently, in their youth, some people used to imagine themselves as someone burdened by fate, fighting against the world, etc. But as they grew older, they started to become embarrassed by such memories. Some would write those fantasies into novels, while others would entrust such tales to tree hollows.
Mata, you know, I suddenly have the urge to hear a story about Antara.
Huh? Why so suddenly?
I knew it. There will always be people who love the golden oldies. Now, let me tell you all about the ancient hero, Antara.
That was funny. What the fuck? Era puro Noel. A la chingada. No, pues sí tiene bastantes. Tenía 3 caminos. 275.
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop.
Ah, yo digo que ahí le voy a dejar. Ya van a ser las 3 de la mañana. Ahora sí, vámonos. Ya es bien tarde, ya es bien noche. A dormir.